What's up, everybody? Welcome to 2 Cents, the show where my dad's probably gonna harangue me about changing the oil in my car. Welcome back. How you guys been?
Good.
Good?
Good week.
Yeah,
Good week. It's a
Good
beautiful day out.
Yes.
Really
yes,
beautiful day.
Very beautiful. It scares me sometimes
Yeah.
because we have a week of it's beautiful, and then next week it's probably going to be blistering cold. That's the only thing.
Well, I don't know. Yesterday
It got
almost got
chilly.
chilly.
Got chilly
But
all of a
not
sudden.
to the point where it's like, oh crap, like it's
Not
it's
for me, it
blistering
is.
cold.
Old.
No, that's true.
Get cold real easy.
That's true. Oh, I want to do something kind of different. I know we've been talking about, different topics, that goes on in the world and things like that. But I want to do something different. We kind of want to keep the old man's blood pressure kind of low. We don't want to aggravate him too much, with all the stuff that we talk about. You good? Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason they bought me this watch.
I thought
the reason they bought me the watch is because that way I can watch my
heart rate.
Are you serious? I thought they just bought it because it was just a nice.
She worries about me,
present.
so she's like,
She has the app on so she can look at
she
it.
can look at it.
Oh, that's
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I just kind of do something different as far as because again, we come from different very generations, and our backgrounds are kind of generally different, but like they're one and the same. It's kind of weird to do. It's kind of a weird little crossing that we have there. So today I just want to do a more of like a, talk about like the things that we grew up with and things that are different now, and how do you feel about today's generation versus yesterday's generation about pop culture and music and all that
Where do I
stuff.
start, man?
I was kidding about the blood pressure thing.
Hold on, let me turn this thing off.
It's just gonna come in.
You know what? Start with you. Start with you. Okay.
Yeah.
The years that you grew up with
Back in 1940.
Yeah, when the Great Depression.
The Great War was down. I think.
He was there when the Revolutionary Bill was signed.
No.
In 1776. You just got to tell him about that whenever you run into him.
No, I was not born then. My dad was.
No, Grandpa was born, and he was out there gardening when Jesus Christ was being crucified.
You know the funny thing, the real funny thing about this is when you mention that, and you guys, they joke about it, about how old I am and what it was back in the day or whatever. But the funny thing is, I remember being 13, being 14, and looking at my dad and knowing that it was his birthday or something, and he was like, at the time he was like, yeah, he barely turned like 38 or something like that, or 40 or something, and I would look at him and I go, damn, you're old, Dad. And then I would ask him questions like, Dad, what did you guys do, for fun? But it's weird because they're asking me the same questions, and it goes back to the same thing. Like, I don't feel I was that old. So now I get it, how my dad felt when I asked him that. Like, he doesn't feel that old, but yet I don't feel that old. But at the same time, I'm like,
kind of a rite of passage at that point.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, man,
I think it's I don't know, like Logan, my son Logan, and I was born in 1993. Okay, 1993. Okay?
And see, to me, that's a young year because
see what I mean? So what I mean? Yeah. But then he tells me, "Hey, Dad, when were you born?" I'm like, "Oh, I was born in 1993." You were born in the 1900s?
He told me the same thing. He told me the same. I took him to work. That's the last time I'm taking to work. By the way, I was passing by and I was showing him all the cool things there around the airport when I was taking him to you. And he was like, wow, this is all big. And when did they? I was like, this was back like before, I was born in 97. And he said, you were born in the 1900s? And I'm like, really, dude? I was like,
you about to jerk him out the window, huh?
Oh, yeah, no, I was about to like,
you were going to put him
right. Who do you think you're talking to? Like,
so, it's funny, but okay, so going along those lines, I just realized something because I've seen it. I saw it very often, and I want to ask that question to you young people.
Okay.
What is it with young people wearing sweaters in summer? Well, what is it with that?
I don't know.
Dude, you got me.
No.
I don't even know
I mean,
that.
you guys didn't do it. I give you that. My kids didn't
Yeah.
do it. But holy cow, you go to the mall, it's like 90 degrees outside.
We see
And
that
they're wearing
often.
hoodies.
We see that. Me and my wife see that
Yeah.
often.
They're wearing
Yeah.
hoodies.
No
They're
clue.
wearing.
That
I call it the cold generation.
The cold.
The
At-
cold
at work,
generation.
all the older guys that like me, they're like, yeah, that's the cold generation. Why? Because they always wear hoodies. They're always cold.
true. But I don't know.
I never knew.
I never knew anything.
They
I mean,
wear that, and they don't like to get dressed. They're too lazy to get dressed. They're too lazy to get dressed. Like
I will.
look, man.
they-
okay,
like,
see, they're
That's why you go to a store and they're in flip flops and pajamas and and I'm like,
I would
get
under-
dressed.
I would understand like the mall or things like that, but if I got to just get up and fly down to the Walmart real quick, I'm not gonna put on some pants. I just go,
No,
come
see,
back.
Well, that's the
That's-
difference. See, me, I don't fly anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I don't go like, oh shit, I gotta be right back. I gotta go. No, if I gotta go get
Mm.
something, okay, I'll go get it when it's there. So I'm not rushing to go if I need something. All right. So here's why. Here's my take on that. Here's my 2 cents. So one day I was a truck driver, as many as you guys know. I was a truck driver, and I was driving around, and truck drivers have a bad habit of not getting dressed.
Yeah.
They have a bad habit of driving in flip flops. Now, you spend all your time in the truck,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of guys like to keep their trucks clean and everything, which is fine. I kept mine clean. I would take my boots off at night, to go to sleep and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And I put them in that same spot so I wouldn't get everything else dirty and stuff. And I'll get up in my socks and whatnot. But there's a lot of guys that it's like they started like getting more lazier and not put their shoes on, and they just walk around with their flip flops. Okay, which hey, to each is his own. But here's why I say it's a bad idea. So one day, I'm at a warehouse. I'm waiting for a truck. I'm waiting for my load to get loaded. In front of me, there was a truck that was trying to get out.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to leave.
Yeah.
It was a very small area. It was down in Houston. It was a small area by the airport and Humble, Texas. I just remember that. Shout out to my brother, Freddie. Anyway, so he's coming in and he blocks him. Another guy blocks him, right? So now this guy's like, and then the driver gets off and goes to deliver his paperwork,
Yeah.
so they can tell him where to go.
Uh-huh.
This guy wants to leave. So he just blocked him. Now he's like all ticked off. Oh,
Yeah.
So he gets off the truck, right? He starts yelling at the other driver. Hey, man.
Oh,
Okay.
man. Okay. I think I know where this is going.
Now I'm watching this, right? And I'm like, man, this guy's pissed off, right? It's like, damn. So he gets off. But the mistake that he did was he was in shorts and
Flip
in
flops.
flip-flops.
Yeah.
The other guy was dressed.
Yeah.
So when the guy started yelling at him, the guy's like, hey, man, give me a minute. I just got here, dude. I didn't know where to park.
Yeah.
I was delivering the paperwork. So now it starts to where he starts to insult him. Right?
Mm.
So the other guy goes, now you're insulting me, right? He said, now you're calling me names. So he starts dishing it back. I'm inside my truck. I'm going, oh, he's going to go down. And next thing you know, the guy with the flip flops, he tries to walk over there, big and tough, whatever.
Yeah. Well,
So
the
the
sound
other
of
guy-
what,
the
what,
other
what,
guy's
what
going
the sound
back.
of
No, well, number one, that. But in the process, I guess he was so mad that he hit this flip flop, right? It hit the ground and it broke.
Dude.
So now he's trying to walk up on this
He's trying to
guy.
talk smack.
Trying
He's trying to talk smack. And
His
the-
flip flop's over there on the ground. He's trying to fix his flip flop. Man, what do you think the other guy did?
Imagine,
I would've been laughing
imagine,
my ass off.
imagine going up and you're the guy that flip up. Hey, man, just
Hey.
Yeah,
Oh man.
just
give me
let
5
me
minutes.
just,
Man.
yeah.
Just give me a minute, man. I gotta fix mine.
I'd be laughing at them.
I've seen
Really good.
I've
So-
seen that. And then the other thing, I've seen accidents because I was a firefighter.
Yeah.
Remember, I was a firefighter.
Yeah.
I've seen accidents where I've gone to the accident sites, and there's people, and the truck flipped over, whatever, big accidents. they either don't have any clothes because they just jumped in their car, or they don't have any shoes because throughout
Right.
the wreck, they lost their damn shoes.
Oh.
So now you're trying to help them. Now you got to carry their butts because they can't walk because it's all in the middle of the boonies, you know. And now you got to bring in blankets and whatnot because they tore off their shorts. The lady tore off their pajamas, whatever. I'm like, dude, if I ever go down, I'm gonna be dressed. I'm serious. If I go down, I'll be dressed.
Yeah. So going back and like I said, you were talking about that dress and clothes. Do you think, reeling it back when you were growing up, you know, you grew up, you were born 73, right? So you grew up around the 80s and you grew up on all that
80s,
stuff.
90s.
Do you think that? Do you think because those guys are probably around your age or maybe younger? Like, do you think that was like
I think it was. I think a lot of issues why we went that route.
Yeah.
Because before, if you saw a kid with a sweater in summer, he was slow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He was,
Oh, wow.
We would make fun of him. We would make fun of him.
I was thinking about
I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he said it.
he said it. I was like,
What?
man.
No.
Well, it's just kind of ironic. It's like, yeah, we do have those I think that's a problem that we have as people. Is like we automatically like want to look at it and either you make fun of the guy, you judge the guy, or you think he's slow, right? And
Yeah.
in my opinion, we do that all internally,
Yeah.
and I don't think
We did it.
we-
externally.
and
Yeah,
they did
you
externally.
guys'
You guys didn't
generation,
give a shit.
you and the
No,
boomers were
Man,
just.
but
Here's
you didn't
why-
give a dang.
Here's why we didn't care, because we thought that was normal. Like, dude, but we were okay. I'm not saying everybody did it to be mean. There were people that were doing it to be mean.
Yeah.
I personally did it because, dude, get away from all that crap.
Yeah.
Come on. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I had friends in school that. I had a friend. Check it out. I had a friend that he didn't know how to talk. He didn't talk. He was mute. Right.
Yeah.
For the longest time, he was mute. Right. I mean, I never knew until I started getting to know him.
Right.
And it was weird because I'd known him for years, dude. And back then, we didn't know there was such thing as sign languages and whatnot. So
he was deaf or he was mute?
no, he was mute.
Mute. Okay.
He
So-
couldn't talk.
So he
Why?
could hear. He could hear,
just
but he
couldn't
couldn't
talk.
talk.
He couldn't talk.
Ah, okay.
So he grew up like that, and we known him for years, and we would joke with him because he was our friend. We wouldn't let other people joke because they were doing it with bad intentions.
Yeah, with bad intentions.
Oh
You
yeah.
Yeah.
follow me?
Well,
We still
yeah,
got that.
yeah. We
Because-
still got
because-
that.
Well,
But-
exactly.
and
But
that's.
see, but no, we don't got that now because now
Oh yeah, no.
they go after you for making fun of him. Period.
True.
That's
It
why
is
we're-
true.
That's
It
why
is
Like
true.
even if you're friends.
Yeah, even if
yes,
you're
that's
friends,
true.
because
That's
people misinterpret.
Yes,
a lot.
and
And they make
that's
assumptions.
why, and that's why you have a blanket kid
Speaking
or
on that,
cold kids that wear hoodies all
Cold
the time
kids.
because they're so insecure.
Yeah.
speaking
That's
on
their
that,
security blanket.
I have that I have it to where because my buddy Tyler,
Yeah.
he's black.
Shout out.
Shout out,
Tyler.
Shout out, Tyler.
He sees these, by the way.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, I sent it to him. Shout out to you, man. But we've known each other for so long that we bag on each other, we talk crap on each other, right?
Hell, he
But
even jokes himself.
He even jokes himself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the great
yeah.
thing. And in my opinion, we have that luxury, or if anything, the right to make fun of each other in a matter that nobody else can joke around with us. Only because we get, like, I'm not even gonna lie, we get to the point where we start calling each other like funny things with, when it comes to race. He's a
Ooh,
Mexican and black,
I'll
stuff like
touch up
that.
on that.
beaners.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like we know there's a line though.
Yeah.
And then we've argued before, but there's a line we
I'll
will
get you.
never
There's still a
cross
line.
I got you right there.
as friendships.
I
that we
got
wanna
you.
do.
I got you right there. I have a friend too who's actually white. And we joke around a lot like that. There's a boundary, but it's the same way. But I think I literally think there is just all about how you were raised at home, because he never taught us as
There
a
was no
kid.
such thing as
There was no
white,
such
black,
thing
or
as
nothing.
black,
It's
white,
just-
nothing. And for the longest time ever, I thought we were all the same. Literally,
Facts.
even down to the skin, we were all the same. And the thing is that's what allowed us to be not as, you know, sensitive about joking with your best friend, because that's your best friend. You grew up with that guy, regardless of what, you know,
Yeah,
what
it's
color,
just-
what
it's
background, and that's why I wanted to, you know, go there, because, you know, like the way we were raised and the way other kids were raised, it's very surprising how all that, you know,
I didn't
turns
even know there
out.
was such thing as race until we moved to Kansas. To be honest with you, I didn't start realizing, like, you know what I mean? Because I was growing up, I thought like, oh yeah, that person's the same as me, even though
Yeah.
he's darker, he's the same as me. He's the same as me. But like,
'Cause-
it's just crazy. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I don't mean to interrupt. Because Dad, you grew up in the '80s, right? And the '80s was a good time. You know,
I
you
think
had,
it was a good time. Yeah, man. I mean,
you
like
know,
I said, nobody worried about.
but
that
you
kind
had you had so many different, like, pop culture. As far as pop culture, you had so many different variety of things. As far as from music to movies to TV shows,
Mhm.
and even in the TV shows, you know, you had.
Look at it this way. You mentioned music. Look at
Yeah.
music. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, no, you're good, you're
So
good.
it's
absolutely
good.
right.
It
Yeah.
goes
Check
into
it
the
out,
music.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music when I grew up, and they even show it on some videos and stuff. Music when I grew up, if you grew up in the '80s, correct me if I'm wrong. Music in the '80s, no matter what kind, whether it was country, whether it was pop,
Yeah.
whether it was
Hip-hop.
rock, whether it was merengue,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
It was music to dance.
Yeah.
That was a
Oh yeah.
that was,
it was
and the
music to
biggest
dance.
movie was Footloose.
Yeah.
It
Dance,
was it was
Yep.
a movie.
Yep.
It was dancing music, no matter where it was.
Yep.
It was meant to make people have a good time and dance the night away.
Mhm.
Okay, when you dance with your partner, right?
Right.
Start dancing with your partner, your baby, you know, whatever. You dance. Nowadays, you go anywhere, and it's called club music. You ever know?
Mm.
It's club music,
Club
but that
music.
club music is designed. If you listen to it, if you really listen to it, you don't dance to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places you don't go. Well, now what do?
Mhm.
Now all they do is you sit around in a lounge. They
Yeah.
have the music playing, but everybody's drinking.
They have a dance
It's
floor,
a
but
socializing. They call
Yeah.
it.
I noticed that if in the they have a dance floor, right? But normally, like, you see people jumping up and down to the music or whatever. But most of the time, it is just sitting around, social, standing, kind of bobbing a little bit, cool. You're basically just bobbing your head to it.
So it's
Yeah.
called tailgate music now. You know, the country is
Country music,
tailgate
yeah.
music now. Back then you know what? People might disagree. Think about it. If you really pay attention to George Strait, you know why he had so many number ones?
Mhm.
Because every song that he sang,
You dance.
you could dance to.
Yep.
You could
Partner.
two-step
Yeah,
to
you
it.
two-step.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
you can follow the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, it's
Tailgate.
tailgate music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what they do now, you go to a club. My buddy, he used to go to. He loves dancing, and he used to go to a club. He's single, so he goes dancing. And me and Mom, we love dancing, right? We love dancing. The problem is we stopped going because we were literally all night. We would be there from 9 o'clock to midnight. That was a cutoff because again we're old. We'd be in bed by no later. But
There's
anyway,
some older people over there that
So-
Saints is like too. I've seen them.
so we would go
Yeah.
early. We'll go
Yeah.
early. We'll get there by 9. So it gives us 9, 10, 11, 12, 4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours is good. We will get there. Number one, we will get there early enough so that we won't be bumping into people, right? But it wasn't the bumping into people. We started noticing that a good song, George Strait will come on, or Alan Jackson, right?
Yeah.
Boom, they start bringing those songs out.
Mhm.
Well, guess what? It's a good rhythm. Come on, baby, let's go dance.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
But when we would find a good song that we want to dance, we follow the beat. We follow the music. Some people just are out there to dance. They don't follow rhythm worth a damn. And they're like misstepping, bumping into you and all that stuff.
Swing
and I'm
dancing.
and then they want to do the twirls. And, dude, there's people you're not the only one
So
on the
wait,
floor.
like swing dancing, like I've seen, because
Yeah.
actually I was out like the other night,
yeah.
and there was a lot of swing dancers and
Yes.
stuff like that. Now it looks cool,
It looks
it looks
cool. Don't
cool,
get me wrong.
but like there was people busting like backflips and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Ah.
and I'm just like, hey man, I'm like here too. I'm trying to.
I'm
Dude,
trying to, you know,
I'm like, I gotta keep an eye on you because I'm
you're
trying to have a
gonna
good
end up
time.
getting smacked in
You
the
know,
head.
and then if you bump into them and they kick your fault, it's like it's your fault.
yeah,
Like, dude, I'm out here. I paid my tuition too. You know, I paid my dues. I want to dance. You know what I used to do? We used to do, Mom and I. It got to a point where we would go somewhere and we would, it got so crowded on the dance floor, not because they were dancing, but they were dancing to music that they were line dancing. Nowadays they line dance for everything.
Oh yeah, like hip hop and all that stuff.
Everything
Yeah.
line dance.
Yeah.
Mom and I want to dance together.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? I'll dance on the side. I'll dance over there by the tables.
Yeah.
There's more room there too. Like
I won't be bumping into people.
Staying on that subject of country music. Okay, because this is a very hot. This is a very, this is a topic that's really interesting for me because again, it's going between that and the race thing.
Jeez.
All right, you by blood you're Hispanic.
No,
You're
no,
Mexican.
no. Not by blood. I was born in Mexico.
You were born in Mexico.
That is by law.
Okay.
I'm a Mexican.
He's
No, okay. You are Mexican.
He's
Okay.
legal.
He's legal.
Mexican
But I am
American.
legal.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
I am
yes,
a U.S. citizen, though. I became a citizen.
I'm getting fact checked, but
Fact check.
Gotta be
but
specific now.
well, I know. But what I'm trying to say is that you're Mexican. You came over here to the U.S. and all that, and then you grew up in the '80s, and like you said, you came across George Strait. Now, George Strait in our lives, because of you, has been in
Big
our
staple.
a big staple in our family, and country music as well. But I grew up listening to country music. We both did, and there was always the good ones. There was George, there was Alan, there was Brooks and Dunn, there was Kenny Chesney and all that stuff. And then later on in my life, when I grew up, I went a decade back and looked at Waylon, Johnny, all them good, all the ones that listened to it. Well, come to find out, when I grew up, I was like, when I'm like 16, 17 around there, I meet a bunch of people my age, and this is all from different races, the different ones. And they, when I mentioned these bands, they looked at me like deer in headlights.
What?
Yeah, they looked at me like I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I listen to stuff. What do you think I listen to? Oh, dude, it's because you're Hispanic. We thought you listened to this, and I love Hispanic music. I really do. The stuff that he also showed us that too. But I like more of what country music.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like when we moved up, when we were up there up north in Kansas, there was people who were Hispanic and Mexican and all that. They would look at me like I was like I was an alien. I'm like, dude, I got the same hat as you, the same boots. I don't know what. I don't know what.
No, I mean, we went more toward the Western style.
And that's where I didn't know that.
Everything.
And that was a shock to me.
That I credit that to my dad.
Yeah.
My dad told me what his story when he was back in the early 70s, maybe 60s area.
Yeah.
Him and his brothers were here illegally.
Uh-huh.
That was back when I wasn't even born yet.
Uh-huh.
But they were here illegally, and they were working up in West Texas in a little town called Big Spring.
Yeah.
And they were there in the work that they would find back in the day. It was ranching,
mm-hmm.
And when they went in, and funny you should mention that because I just told Mom that because it happened to us right now. It's so funny how that works. So my dad, when they bought him and his brothers, when they went and they got their paychecks, they went to buy clothes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what you do. You buy stuff that you need.
Right.
So he says that when he went to go buy clothes, he bought himself Wranglers,
mm-hmm.
right? And then he bought himself a Western shirt. Now, my dad, for those guys that maybe one of these days I'll have him on the show. He lives in another town and everything, but he is the George Strait before George Strait. No. The reason I say that is he always liked solid colors.
Yeah.
He never liked fascist colors like bright colors.
Bright colors.
He always liked solid colors, right?
Mm-hmm. Nothing like this, right?
Not. And like this, it was mainly flannels for work, He and I like solid colors. I just love these shirts because I just got them. But anyway, that's a different story. Anyway, but he solid colors. And then he liked what they call a ranch style hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Mexico has a tradition of wearing cowboy hats a certain way.
And for some reason, when they get older, the older the guys get, they get smaller. I don't know
They
if
definitely
anybody
get
can answer
smaller.
that. Can you answer
Actually,
that?
I think
Because your
it's-
hat's not getting
I
smaller at
think
all.
it's the body. The
Do you
body
think it's what it
getting
is?
bigger.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I'm good for the next
For the next
30
couple,
years.
30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the body gets bigger because but they was ranch style, and my dad and my uncle,
Yeah.
my uncle Valente and my uncle Chuy, who passed away, they would always wear American style ranch style hats.
Yeah.
The shake.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Mexico wears their hats a little bit more traditionally up,
Kind of closer to the.
kind of closer to the
crown.
To the crown. American style is a little bit like like you see him wearing his here, and so when he was doing that, he bought that kind of hat and he bought that kind of shirts and he bought those kinds of jeans.
Right.
Now, the people that he was with, because there were more than them three. He says they were like, I think he said that they used to live in a like a shack,
Yeah.
and there were like 15, 20 people there,
Yeah.
men, and they would work for this rancher, and they would have to go into town, right, and they would all get dressed up. It's a Mexican fact. You can always tell who the true Mexican is if you see him down the mall and he's dressed to the nines. If you see him go to the store and he's dressed to the nines, because that's what we were taught. You get dressed,
And it brings,
no matter where you go.
bring back full circle to what we
You
were
see
talking
what
about
I'm
earlier.
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so now when he got dressed, they got dressed. All of them, right? They're all Mexicans.
Uh-huh.
Some Hondureños and whatnot, but they all got dressed.
Yeah.
The problem is they got dressed like Americans.
Yeah.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
The rest of them got dressed like Mexicans,
Uh-huh.
meaning they had their shirts with the flowers. They had their shirts with the designs. They had their caps or cowboy hats
The pants with a little
with
bit
the
of.
feathers.
Well, see, that-
back then
yeah.
they didn't have.
I didn't
that.
have those.
Didn't have
Oh,
it.
okay.
Back then it was like you
It's a
would
big
you
thing
would wear
now.
you would wear Levi's or
Wow.
any type any type of jean rustlers, I think it was something like that.
Mhm.
Well, if you know your grandpa, those things. That's where I learned all that. Starch to the G. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So boots were the American style boots. American style different than Mexican style, believe it or not.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so they went downtown.
Yeah.
He tells the story, and I verified it. I verified it because I talked to my tío Valente, and he says yes, that happened.
Oh, that's cool.
So they went into the store, right? In Big Spring, they went in there, and they went in because they were going to get supplies,
Mhm.
right? Food, whatever they needed. As they were in there, 2 Border Patrol agents walked in. Everybody was all scared and stuff.
Quite. Yep.
Tío Valente told my dad, "Shh," and Tío Chuy, hey, don't say anything, just act normal. Because they were going to run too. But he said, no, just don't say anything and act normal. Okay. Everybody was running, right? Trying to get out of the store, like trying to.
yeah,
make
trying
sure
to
they didn't
scurry
see
out,
him.
Yeah.
be subtle. Yeah.
Border Patrol walked up. Now, my dad said he was there trying to get milk, and the Border Patrol came up. Border Patrol looks at my dad and goes, how's it going? My dad goes, all right. That's all he said, right? Yeah. Grabbed the can of whatever and walked out. Have a good one. He walked away. Didn't say nothing to my dad. My uncle was over there in the other aisle getting chips and stuff, and he walked right by the other Border Patrol. Not a word. They went back. They paid. They went in and got into their truck. The guys had taken off, right?
Yeah.
They just went back to the truck. They got in the truck and they were like, where'd everybody go? I was like, dude, I don't know. They all ran. When the Border Patrol guys got in their vehicle, they took off. They saw them running. So they went and they went and stopped them.
Yeah.
And my dad, Tío Chuy, and then he told me, and I believe it to this day, because it happened to me right now, really. We went to a store. It's one of those Mercado stores. And I walked out, and this guy was walking in. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't there. It was at the laundromat because we just went to get something to eat. Went back to the laundromat. It was at the laundromat.
Yeah.
I was getting the stuff, my wife likes to wash the big old not colcha, the rugs, carpets. Takes it to the big machines anyway. So anyway, as I was throwing all the stuff in the truck, there was a guy walking in. And it hit me. That story hit me because I looked, and this guy's wearing Mexican cap, Mexican with a Mexican flag,
with
Mexican thing.
yeah.
And I'm going, bro, I mean, and then we wonder why they're picking on us. No, I'm serious. Think about it. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying I don't like Mexicans. I'm not saying that.
I mean, you're Mexican.
I'm Mexican, yeah. I'm not
Well,
saying
see,
that.
that's what I got. That's what I got. Like
if you live in the country, adapt.
Yeah.
You're not turning your back on Mexico. You're not.
No. But that's the thing, and to me, that I got a different kind of, not different but same, like that's the thing, like, oh man, I'm like, no dude, it's not that. Like, I love my culture. I know where I come from. Yes, you know what I mean. I'm from here. I was born here. So naturally, I'm gonna have an American culture, and not only that, like a Texan culture, because that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is. We like you were describing Grandpa and them. That is how a lot of Hispanics here, believe it or not, dress too.
Yeah.
The Western style lifestyle,
Western style
and that's
lifestyle.
what Texas.
In my opinion, I always thought, because technically, Hispanics, we invented cowboys. Like
Yeah.
cowboys,
Yes,
we're Mexicans.
yes,
The
the
vaqueros is
the
what they call
vaqueros,
them.
yeah.
But in
yeah.
my opinion, American, like style, Western Texas, or whatever you want to call it, they did it better. In my opinion, they just
they
did it.
improved
They
it.
They
improved
improved
it.
it.
They
They
it
improved
just
it.
looks better.
They came out with
But
better
we still-
style, better equipment, I guess. Better, you know what I mean? It just
But
embrace it.
that's what I mean, and it's just like that's why that's why I say, like, no, it's not that. Like, again, I'm naturally gonna be from here, so that's what I'm gonna like. Like, I do like more George Strait than I do Vicente, or I'd like to listen to my other music, and it's just one of those things that's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what the culture thing meant, is that everybody has their cultures, but we bring them here and we kind of mix them up, and this is what we get.
That's what America is.
Yeah, you know what I
pretty
mean?
much, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the thing is that's why, but like, how do you and staying on that point. I know how you feel about the line dancing and stuff, but I'm talking about, like, artist wise, like,
Well, artist-wise,
how do you feel about today's country music artists versus
no. Again, to me, if I'm in my truck, again, you got to understand, I had CDs, I grew up with cassettes, and I grew up with 8-track.
yeah.
So if you bought a CD or you bought a cassette, then that was the music you were listening to. So it had 10 songs maybe, or 5 depending.
Yeah.
Good side.
And then, A and B side. So if you bought it from an artist, that's the whole thing you listen to.
Yeah.
And the reason I like George Strait is because, like I said, I could put that whole cassette, and every song
It's your shirt.
was a melody.
Yeah.
Every song, whether it was a fast one or a slow one, it was a melody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with all this artists that now they download, they don't download albums, they just download a song.
Yeah.
Right. That's
You know
how
what's
it works.
crazy to me though? For me, I download albums, and I'll listen to the albums just straight,
Yeah,
right to
yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of people, and there might be a lot of people think I'm weird for that.
Well,
like,
yeah,
like,
Really?
yes, no, because I have a buddy of
No
mine.
way.
Like, I'll listen to, like, my favorite. You like country. My favorite is like rock type. It's all that. But I have this new band, and they're coming out with music, right? And I want to listen to that song, or I want to listen to their album. So I downloaded all their albums, and I listen to them. I like listening to that same album. But if you don't have a mix playlist, it's weird.
yeah.
Because a lot of people, when I'm driving with somebody,
and
they're like,
when
they're
I
like, why don't you change the song?
when I listen
it's
to-
different. I'm like,
when
dude,
when I
that's what I like.
when
It's my
I'm
truck.
with you. I'm with you on that. Like, I don't download an album because I just don't want to. But I listen to an album because it comes out on YouTube. Like, the whole album comes out on YouTube for free, and like, I listen to it and I listen to the entire thing, and then I pick the songs that I want and I throw them on my playlist. So that's kind of where
Well,
I
see,
where
that's
I am
what I'm
from.
saying.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
yeah. Nowadays, yeah.
nowadays they bring out one song, and then they wonder, okay, is it going to make a hit or not?
Uh-huh.
And then later on they bring out another song.
Oh,
is it going to make a hit or not?
Dude,
So what
even
happens-
worse. Even I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
Even worse, they'll drop that song, right? And before it was just two songs that's the singles because wait till the album comes out. That's it. Now, literally, I have a country artist that I mean, not taking away from how marketing does, like how he does. I love his music. It's the marketing strategy, and it's with other things too. Now he dropped the first one like in January. It's now March, and he dropped this fourth one, the fourth album out of the album, and I'm just like,
well, because
just like,
see, again, it's different now.
yeah,
Because and to me, I think I mean, I know they're making money, but again, I'm thinking people are dumb. I'm sorry. The reason I say that is because again, back in the day when we used to do that, you would buy the what do you call it, the album, right?
yeah,
You listen to the whole album. Nowadays, it makes people buy one and then buy another from this guy, and then this guy. Yeah, you're gonna make. That's why when I don't even look at the CMAs and all that stuff. I don't look at it no more because to me, it's like it's lost his ability because you can have this guy, you like 20 different artists, and you, even though you didn't buy the albums, you just bought songs. You pick and choose from 20 different artists
yeah,
the songs that you wanted. So what
Yeah.
does that make you? That makes you 20 songs that you bought. So all those people get points for that song that you bought.
Mm.
See, back in the day, I buy a CD. That's the CD I get
yeah. CD
with 10 songs.
Mhm.
You see?
Yeah.
And it wasn't this, I'm going to buy 20 CDs. No, right?
Yeah,
So I would buy a CD, and that's the one I would listen to
Yeah.
all week, all month, whatever, until I wanted to go buy another CD from whatever other artist I wanted.
yeah,
It wasn't just I go to start buying another
Technology,
CD. No.
that's why I feel like
Because it was like $12, $20 sometimes to buy a CD.
Yeah.
So when you bought it, hey, you listen to it all day long.
yeah,
So nowadays, think about it. They're saying album of the year or not, song of the year or whatever. They go based off how many sales they've done.
Yeah.
But it loses it because if we all bought that one song, that doesn't mean he's the best.
We are so sorry, everybody. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty. My phone decided to overheat in the middle of the session.
Note to self, don't put it in the sun.
Yeah, note to self. Yeah, don't put a phone in. I guess it doesn't work like that. But anyways,
Technology. Ugh.
there we go. Yeah, I guess. Anyways, you were saying, sir.
Anyways, so if we buy a CD, if we buy a song,
Back then or
no,
now?
it's in general.
In general, okay.
If you buy a song now, you have to do it through that tune, whatever.
Yeah.
You get to pick and choose one song
Yeah.
or whatever song you want.
Yeah.
But look at it this way: if there's three of us here, pick an artist from this generation.
Jason. Aldean.
Jason Aldean. You buy a song that you like from Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
I buy a song and you buy a song from Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
Same artist.
Yeah.
Okay. Right?
Mhm.
He just got three of us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you buy Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And now you buy another song
Mhm.
from another artist. Give me another artist.
Shoot. What is it?
John Party.
John Party.
Okay, John Party. Who are you picking?
Cody Johnson.
Like it has to be specific country.
Whatever.
Oh, then
Pick
for
your-
me,
yeah.
Sleep Token is.
Okay,
for-
Sleep Token.
Yeah.
I go with yours straight.
Mhm.
How many votes did they get?
They just got one.
Yeah.
How many votes did Jason Aldean got?
They got two.
They do. No, we
Oh,
got
well,
three.
three.
They
Sorry,
got
we
three.
did. Yeah, sorry.
Because
Yeah.
we did the
Three.
first time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how can you say, oh, because they all bought? No, man, I bought it because I like that song. Doesn't mean I don't like,
The download.
And back in the day, it was different because you had all the CD, all his
it
songs,
was not just
Yeah.
one track.
album,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what I feel that it's. I've given up watching the CMAs, all that stuff, because to me the songs that I have now, the ones that made it to the biggest whatever platform. And not to take that they don't have talent. I'm nothing. I don't want people to say, "Oh, you just don't know." No, if they got their talent, I'm not saying they don't. They paid their dues. They sang whatever. They got to where they get. I'm just saying we're going about it the wrong way. Again, I'm looking at just go back to sports. We have control over that, but yet we're letting it just whatever.
Yeah,
That's the way I see it.
so like shifting back to the pop culture and also because like you said, you had your you grew up in the 80s, so you had your group of artists that you used to listen to, and I had mine. Where did you feel like it was starting to shift? Because we've all seen it.
Honestly,
we've all felt it.
I know, but honestly, in my generation,
Yeah.
Garth Brooks.
Really?
So
Garth
do you?
Brooks.
It's like you blame him for that, or?
Yeah. I was gonna say like.
I do in a way.
But he was good though.
I do. I didn't say he was bad. Trust me, I had his CDs.
He stole Chris.
Yeah.
He stole Chris Ledoux's act. Just saying.
No. But what I'm saying is that I started listening. I'm a big George Strait. To me, George Strait's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then Alan Jackson came out, and I liked what he did because every song was,
Okay. Yeah.
he had a beat.
He had a beat. Yeah.
I could be driving and I'm, I could be tapping to that.
Yeah.
If I was sitting, let me put it this way: George Strait and Alan Jackson, I can't put it in my backyard, pop a beer. No, I gotta dance. When I hear George Strait, Alan Jackson, I gotta dance.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
When I hear Garth Brooks, I just want to sit there and listen and drink a beer. You see what I'm saying? Because from that
That's
generation, that when he came out, he blew everybody out of the water. Why? Because it was something different.
Fresh, new.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was, to me, we didn't know it at the time. But now if you look back, that was the start of tailgate music. He came out with the dance. There's a slow melody.
Amazing
Nothing
song
really,
though.
Yeah.
Amazing song. But it wasn't really a song that you could dance to.
See,
Because of the melody, the way it was.
my shift, the shift from what country music was, because he goes from the 90s, you go into like the early 2000s to like the mid 2000s. That's when it really was like it hit different. You had Keith Urban, Rascal Flatts, those type of artists that were just like good artists. I won't take anything away from them, but it's just not our cup of tea, if that makes any sense. Like, and then Aldean came out and he brought the rock, because I'm a big huge rock fan as well, and like he put a little bit of rock in his country, so that kind of made him again different. And to me, to this day, I'll defend that because I like the artists that do that differently, but also have that little bit of what used to be, and he had that in his music. And then he dropped the Dirt Road Anthem, and it was a good song because he put rap in the song, but then the labels and then the studios and all the productions, all the managers and stuff, that's what we got to do. That's the thing that's got to do it.
We go back
And
to
then
the same thing.
everybody started doing that, and my generation was responsible for the bro country, as they
remember
call
when
it.
We're talking about the journalists, people, in the media.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell what people want.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bite on
Yeah.
it and keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Thankfully now, and Marcus can tell you, thankfully now it's shifting back into what it used to be.
I listen to like a lot of like Zach Bryan, Colter Wall. Those guys are going like kind of to the roots of like more of a rugged
bluegrassy type,
or even like campfire style.
See, I'm starting to listen to
Song.
that. I was driving the truck the other day, and I was going. I don't know where I was going. I think I was going to work or something. And I put the radio on because usually the radio I don't put it on no more because again, with this new technology, my music is in my phone, and it plays what I like.
Yeah.
But at this time I was like, I put the radio on, and this guy came out just singing country music. What's that? That guy that plays the rodeo.
The guy that played at the rodeo. At the Houston rodeo,
No.
or
He's got a.
Cody Johnson.
I think it's Cody Johnson. He's got a documentary on TV.
Yeah.
that
Cody
him,
Johnson.
right? That's
Yeah,
him?
Cody Johnson.
Dude, I heard him sing a song, and I was like, "Who in the heck is this?"
Oh man, you should
like
try.
it was a nice melody, but like with a nice. It reminded me, you know what it reminded me of? And I don't remember the song,
Right.
to be honest with you, because I heard it just once. But it reminded me of Amarillo by Morning.
Oh, really?
The tunes
Nice,
were like,
nice.
oh man,
Nice and-
dude. Oh
Okay,
man.
You should listen
Yeah.
to. Yeah, you got guys like that. You got Zach Top is the biggest guy right now because he brought the swing dancing type of feel back. He sounds like Keith Whitley, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Everybody says he's like Keith Whitley and Alan Jackson.
See, even
that's great.
Even
Yeah.
like Keith Whitley, what's that song? The famous song I love.
He has a bunch.
The one that When You Say Nothing at All.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard that? When You Say Nothing at All.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's a melody, but man, you can dance the hell out of that song.
Yeah.
And that's what our generation looks for.
You see, in mine, this is what I do like about the technology and the apps and stuff like that. I like to find the unknown artists.
Yes.
So the country music that you like
this dude,
I put them on a lot of country songs
This
because
dude is a music connoisseur.
I love
tell you that.
finding the unknown artists because I see these guys that like literally on TikTok. This is why I love TikTok too because I find unknown artists. They'll sit there with the guitar and they play and dude, a lot of people don't like it because they would say because the lyrics that they write, the melody of the song is not dance worthy, but it's more so like a message.
Yeah.
And it could sound I'm not gonna lie, it does sound a little depressing, but it
But
I give him crap for like because he
every
sings
song
a
that
song,
I get-
and I'm in the truck with him. I'm like, dude, like
are you okay?
Are you
Like,
okay?
yeah,
man?
no.
You want-
No, but the thing is that they're doing something like I always think about it like it reminds me of like because that's where the shift change is going back to. It's going back to that, I lost my wife and stuff like that, but a
song
much more,
with soul.
yes.
yes.
It reminds me, and it also like it kind of like because I think they take a lot of inspiration about like some of rock like Nirvana and all that. They have like a grunge
Yeah.
type of lyrics, but also feel to it.
But if you
enjoyable.
actually listen to the songs, they're actually really
They're
good.
really well,
really
I'm
amazing.
all about really well composed music.
But
In my opinion,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
me too.
It could be upbeat, but it could also be kind of down and depressing. But it's down. It still sounds good.
Yeah.
Still sounds good.
Yeah.
In my
I
opinion,
agree. No, I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that's where the shift changing is going back to an older feel, but with a twist.
True.
That's what it is.
True.
There's a
They're doing a good
commercial.
one.
There was a commercial a while back. Loved it. What did it say? It was George Strait. It was a Wrangler commercial, but it was George Strait coming on, walking to the stage, and then it said 100 and whatever records, sold. Concerts, broke concert records, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Millions of viewers, millions of fans,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And then at the end, he's standing there and he goes, how he goes, hello,
Mhm.
and then I'm George Strait, he starts singing,
Yeah.
crowd goes wild, and then it says, wardrobe change, 1.
Oh man.
Back in the '93s when he first came out, it was my cousin who got me into it, got me hooked. My cousin Juan Sanchez, and dude, he hooked me up. I listened to it and I was like, damn, what is this guy? Anyway, when I saw his picture on that I went to get my first cassette, then I was like, that's it, Mom. I literally told my mom, you ever see, because I'm old school. I'm like totally old school. What I mean by that is I don't buy my shirts. I don't buy my jeans. I don't buy, my wife does all that for me. I just tell her this is what I like and she orders it. I don't go, because I'm not that kind of guy to go to the store and go, oh, I need to find me some. I don't know when it was the last time I've been at Walmart for anything or even Cavender's or all. I've never been in there because I don't do that. That's just not me. Anyway, when we were growing up and now we're going to school, 9th grade, I remember it was 9th grade, that I told my mom, because usually summer, then you buy your school clothes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now my brother Freddie, my brother my older brother, he was more into whatever style was coming out. Like I remember one time he actually had.
He had MC. He had a
no, he didn't
MC
do the
Hammer
MC
pen.
Hammer.
Oh.
No, because the MC Hammer was already No, but he did.
Started bankrupt.
He
I think.
did
Oh yeah,
Miami.
he did.
Miami Vice, Don Johnson.
Nah, he did
Yes,
the
sir.
Miami Vice
He
Don.
did
Dang.
the Miami Vice, Don Johnson. Look, he did that.
Oh man, that's
He,
Is there a picture out there?
There has to be a
Oh,
picture.
there's got to be pictures.
There has
You gotta
to be a
ask your grandma
picture.
for that. But yes.
we gotta put.
But anyways, he was more into that kind of, the style. What was? I remember one time we went to Mexico looking for this shirt because they had just come out and he
Yeah.
wanted one. He loved it. We went all over Acuña, man, finding this shirt. It was a Western shirt, and I remember because it was a brown shirt, light color, like a light cream color.
Yeah.
With the cuffs like more brownish.
Yeah.
And it was a button-up shirt, but it had buttons. It had like a flap over it with a design.
Yeah.
That you can unbutton,
Yeah.
and button up.
Sounds weird.
What?
Yeah. But it came out. He saw it somewhere, and it was like in style, whatever. Man, I remember we went all over Mexico, Acuña, trying to find it. We finally found one, and we wondered where he was. That was his deal. Me, when I saw George Strait and everything, that was the last time I wore tennis shoes.
And that was the beginning of hell for us in old style Wrangler jeans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
I say that because who puts their kids in starch Wrangler jeans on a hot day going over there to church in 100-degree weather? It was uncomfortable. I couldn't breathe, man. I couldn't breathe.
it was me.
Which I'll get to mine later, right here in a sec when you know that.
But no, the thing was that when I went to my mom, I remember my mom saying, "Hey, we're gonna go we need to buy you guys clothes or whatever for school for this year." It was gonna be ninth grade, and I told my mom, I said, "Hey, that's what I want right there. Just pick me." She knew my size, so I said, "Just pick me the shirts, as long as they're solid color. The Wranglers, the size I was, 29 back in the day, dude. Waist 29, and I had a pair of
He's got like a 44 now.
I had a pair of ropers.
Yeah.
Gray ones, and I said, "That's it. He said, that's all you want. That's it. I don't need to go." Because we were gonna go, and I knew my brother would take forever, so I was like, "You know what? I ain't going. So just get whatever you want, Mom." And I stayed home, dude. I was like, and then she would come home, and I had my Wranglers, and I had my solid shirts, and that's it. Every 9th grade, 10th grade, till now, I still wear the same kind of clothes. And I still have the same. See, I'm a firm believer. When you use your cowboy hat because you grew up in a ranch or you grew up a working man, and you have your hat, you wear it for a reason, right? When you wear it, you put a style to that hat, and that's the style you keep to the day you die.
Yeah.
I'm not all for a lot of guys. They go through the styles. Like, oh, now they're going to this style. Now they're going to that style. I'm going to recheck. I've never done that.
I think
I've kept my style.
Yeah.
I will keep it.
You find it.
That's it.
You just there's a journey of finding it, and once you find
there's
it,
a journey of finding it, and once you find it,
yeah, because he like we grew up, like he said, pressed everything, and to me, I never liked the old style Wranglers. I to this day I hate it. I swear it off. I'm never ever gonna wear those again.
I don't either.
So when Wrangler Retro came out, which is the ones that I'm wearing now, I'm like, that's perfect because these are, they stretch, they're do good and all that. And then on top of that, like my style is more of like, again, like more of that because I like all variety of music and different, like from rock to rap, everything like that. But I implement a lot of rock into the country side of me, and I do that too. I got the jeans and I do the slit, things like that, and the jean jacket, like that's all like just from the Western lifestyle, and a lot of that is coming back. A lot of the guys the kids now, they wear something like from like the 70s. They bring all that back,
and they're bringing the freaking hairdo.
Yeah, the mullet and they got the mullet in the back and all that, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool.
You should have left it there.
They
should have left it.
So a lot of people ask me because I see kids walking around with their long hair and stuff like that.
I can't do long hair.
And I see some of them.
I know you did.
I tell because I see some kids walking around like that, and I'm like, dude, Now there's a difference. I'm going to tell you a difference in here in a minute. But anyway, so my kids never wore long hair because I never wore long hair. And my thing was,
I did.
how do you stop them from wearing that long hair? Well, I just make fun of them. That's the bottom line.
I never let that.
I
never
make, I
did
make
it.
fun
Yeah,
of them.
but yours was like Bruce Lee.
I make fun of them. No, I'm talking about like the
You
kids
talking
now
about like
that are having
you know,
like
Oh,
you know
long
they're
hair.
like
yeah,
right here, man.
I mean, I would be like, I make fun of them. And to me, when sometimes they say, well, that's cruel. You shouldn't make fun of them. Well, what do you think people are going to do when they walk out? People are going to make fun of you.
Yeah.
So either I make fun of you so that you can either put up with it, or you
Well,
are you
that's
are you going to
actually
say,
though.
or you can't come to me and say, Dad, look, that neighbor kid's making fun of me. Well, yeah, son, you got fucking long hair. Cut your hair. Excuse my language. Sorry about that. And I'm like, cut your hair. Like, you see what I mean? So a lot of times, I parents, we got to take responsibility. Parents, come on, fathers,
I
we got to
mean,
take responsibility.
I had long hair. I mean, even though I was accustomed, like people are gonna make fun of me, but it's okay. Like this is what at least I could go out, and if they make fun of me, okay, I don't give a shit. Like they don't, I don't give a dang. That's the difference, though. Like there's other people that will get made fun of and they get hurt really really bad about it.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
So
when I see parents, when I go to restaurants and everything, they got their long hairs. I'm like, and then something happens or whatever, they're real quiet now because he's sensitive. Well, no wonder the kid's gonna be,
By the way,
sensitive. You know what I mean?
by the way, Grandma, if you're watching,
Anyways.
I just want you to know they cussed. It wasn't me. So,
But
we
anyway,
can talk about it all day.
that'll be something for the next.
Yeah,
next-
if
next
you guys
level
want to
there, but-
continue, if you guys
But
want to
yeah,
continue
so
it,
music. I think it's
Yeah.
it's evolved. I'm not saying it hasn't. It's just, again, I'm old school. I like dancing. Now you don't see that every day. You don't see people
Yeah.
enjoying that. You go to hell. I go to weddings sometimes. I go to weddings and you start looking, and me and my wife were like, man, babe, nobody's dancing. Let's go. Boom. We're the icebreakers when we come.
Right.
Hey, let's go. Because it's like, where's the wanting to hold on to each other?
yeah. We could talk about this on and on all day. I
Oh,
think this is a
yeah.
good subject. So if you guys want to hop it into the next episode, we really can.
What is it?
Yeah,
What's the next thing?
I said the next episode.
Oh,
Yeah, if you guys want to hop into the next episode, we can do that as well. But that's all the time we got for today, folks. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for all the views and for the subscribers as well. If you guys know anybody, to our subscribers, you gotta know anybody that would like conversations like these, reach out to them, send them a link to our YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. So we really do appreciate you guys. And if you guys had any other suggestions or stuff in the comments and all that.
Don't forget, we're gonna be getting some guests. We're gonna have people
hopefully
coming
at some
over.
point.
Yeah, hopefully
We're
we
gonna
will
be
be
asking
getting
some guests, so it's gonna be changing a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be changing a lot. So
Yeah.
we'll make a lot of changes. But until then, again, thank you for joining us. This has been our 2 cents because we got 3.